Join me now on all of this is Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson, who sits on the Homeland Security Committee. He is also a member of both the Senate Budget and Finance Committee. Senator, thanks very much for being here this morning.
Good morning, Maria.
I know you were briefed on this situation, and without asking you to break any secrets in terms of what you know, can you give us your sense of why the Chinese Communist Party has sent this spy flight and was able to float throughout the continental United States over such important military installations?
Because they see, as well as sense, weakness in America right now. I mean, the clip you just played of President Biden, he's detached from reality. He's delusional. He denies that our southern border is open. He says that it's, that we have control over it. We don't. And the fact that he doesn't acknowledge the fact that what is happening here is alarming and puts our nation in peril is itself alarming. We don't exactly have the A-team in place right now, which is also more than unfortunate. One of the things I've been warning, and again, I don't want to alarm your audience here, but it certainly doesn't seem like these unmanned craft, whatever these objects are. I mean, we saw the one balloon. I don't know what these last two objects are. They're not easy to detect. And I've been warning for years about the risk of a high-altitude nuclear blast that could create an electromagnetic pulse that could wipe out our electronics. Even a geomagnetic disturbance could do the same thing, and we haven't prepared for it. We spend $1 trillion on an infrastructure plan, and we don't buy the large power transformers that we could, put in place if the other ones are knocked out. These things are basically irreplaceable in the short term. So we are not prepared for this, and we've got, to say the B team is probably even accurate. We do not have the A team on the field right now, and it should alarm Americans.
Well, you have also been warning about the influence peddling operation underway in the Biden family. You have attacked the FBI for having the Biden laptop all the way from the end of 2019, and yet we still see Hunter Biden walking around, no accountability whatsoever for accepting money from the Chinese Communist Party. And the Republicans in the Senate have also gotten in the way of your reporting on this subject. Isn't that right?
Well, certainly while we were doing our investigation into Hunter Biden, I did not have the support of some members on my committee, so I couldn't issue the subpoenas I wanted to. We were also trying to investigate during COVID, which was not easy. But, the fact that the FBI had Hunter's laptop back in December 2019, as they leave the shop, they look over their shoulder and say, it's our experience that people that don't talk about these things don't get in trouble. That was the opening salvo in their 10-month setup to sabotage any revelation that laptop existed. And they did it in multiple ways. And probably the most effective effort of sabotage was the 51 intelligence officials who said that the laptop had all the earmarks of a Russian information operation. That letter that they sent was an information operation itself and impacted and interfered in our election to a far greater extent than anything Russia could have ever hoped to accomplish. So the House has to call those 51 intelligence officials before the House, be interviewed, try and find out who masterminded that interference operation letter.
Well, we're looking at a picture of the 3-carat diamond that you also reported about that was given to Hunter Biden by a Chinese official. Why would a Chinese official tied to the Chinese Communist Party give the son of the vice president, and before that, the son of a leading senator on foreign affairs, a 3+ carat diamond?
They were trying to buy influence. They're trying to probably buy information that they might have gleaned from him. We see that 22-point memo that Hunter sent out to Devon Archer prior to his father going to Ukraine. So again, this is pretty clear. Senator Grassley and I laid out all the troubling financial foreign entanglements that Hunter Biden and potentially Joe Biden had prior to the election, but the media suppressed it, they censored it, and America was unaware of the type of compromised president they would put in place if they elected Joe Biden. But we did elect him. I didn't, but the rest of the American public did. And now we have a compromised president that is just, again, detached from reality as it relates to China. And is that because he's compromised? It's hard to say.
Well, giving diamonds to people, we know that money laundering is done in terms of giving diamonds and jewels. Was that money laundering?
Well, it's one of the hallmarks of money laundering. We know that Hunter Biden was paid $1 million to represent Patrick Ho, who was convicted of money laundering. So it's pretty easy to put two and two together. Chuck Grassley and I did it for the American public, but again, the media ignored it.
Well, I'm wondering if, in fact, this is one of the reasons that the CCP feels empowered to be able to send spy flights across America to take pictures of our military installations, and why this president allowed that spy flight to get all the way in the middle of the country, all the way up to South Carolina. Your thoughts on where this is going and whether or not Joe Biden, they have so much on Joe Biden that they don't care. They're not expecting any repercussions. How much more can Communist China do to America with no repercussions?
There's so many reasons that our adversaries would be emboldened right now. You take a look at how President Biden is treating the military. They're just concerned about woke politics in the military. The embarrassing surrender in Afghanistan exuded weakness. Our massive deficit spending, inflation. I mean, everything that this president has done, driving up energy prices, a completely open border, every action this president has taken has weakened this country. And again, I don't know all of the ways that Joe Biden is compromised in terms of his foreign financial entanglements, but the Chinese Communist government knows, Russia knows, Iran knows, and that's why we need to get to the bottom of this. I just completely reject the Democrats' criticism of the House investigations. These are incredibly important investigations. The American public deserves to know the truth.
And real quick, the president went to Wisconsin the other day, and you say he lied about you.
Well, they keep bringing out this, canard about Republicans want to end or cut or put on the chopping block Social Security. Nothing could be further from the truth. We want to save Social Security, and we're just pointing out that the greatest threat to it is the massive deficit spending undertaken by President Biden.
All right, we will leave it there. The Committee for a Responsible Budget says that the Social Security Trust Fund will go insolvent by 2035. Senator, thanks very much for being here this morning. Ron Johnson in Wisconsin.
Have a good day.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.